Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Vecna, Eve of Ruin, the Rock On Dungeons and Dragons D&D Dungeons and Dragons canon hardback, the D&D canon hardback, and we are jumping into chapter 6. So a lot going on. So the player characters now have 4 pieces of the rod of ruin, of the rod of 7 parts, and they are going for the 5th. And in addition to that, they have just either escaped or defeated Lord Strahd, and they were in Ravenloft. Now they travel to, they guided by each piece of the rod of 7 parts points to where the next piece is. And let's take a minute. That's pretty brilliant, man. That's a really cool, and like, there's a lot of things I think that are in this, Vecna Eve of Ruin that I really think are just absolutely fantastic. And one of the things I love here is I love this like you could put that on every major parted piece, right? Like that, any kind of segmented major magical item will always kind of point, from one point to the next, right? And this is great. It literally pulls the player characters through a quest, which I think is really epic and really fantastic. Amanda Heyman is crushing it with this book. So the player characters are now 15th level, right? They've gone from Forgotten Realms, they've gone to Eberron, they have gone to Ravenloft, and now they're going to Krynn, right? Oh, they've gone to Spelljammer, and I will tell you right now, I was really astounded with what Amanda Heyman is doing. So, every day on the internet, D&D commenters like me come on and they're like, D&D only succeeds because of its name. And the reality is, I want to scream from the rooftops, this is not true, right? Dungeons and Dragons is delivering an epic D&D canon hardback every 3 months. They rule the roost. They defeat every OSR and every single indie by merit, by work, by actual very hard work that is done on a daily basis, right? And the thing I love about this is, Amanda Heyman is insulting the OSR and the indies, and every OSR creator and every indie creator to their face, not with words but with action. So she's just outwriting them, out-arting them, out-designing them. Her work is better, right? There's like, Dungeon Coach is working on DC 20 right now, and like spinning up his Kickstarter, right? And that's the point, right? Like, Dungeon Coach is working on a Kickstarter, right? Saying, but like Amanda Heyman's like, I do real work and it gets distributed for real. You don't need to wonder if it will take 12 years for your book to arrive. That's what you can get. Like, we just found out, Gareth Skarka just delivered a tabletop role-playing game, Far West, after 12 years, right? Dungeon Coach is like, are you willing to wait 12 years? Because if you do a Kickstarter, that could happen, right? It's not Dungeon Coach, he's using a format that has a very bad history, right? Like, for some users, right? And whereas Amanda Heyman is like, this thing's going to go on a bookstore shelf, on a game shop near you, because I worked hard to create it, right? And it's really astounding. Like, she's insulting the OSR and the indie creators to their face, not with words, but with actions, right? And that's the best way to insult somebody, in my humble opinion. That's the only way you should insult somebody, in my humble opinion, I think, right? Well, it's a whole thing. Like, it's pretty astounding. All right, so you have all that going on, right? Well, yeah, I would say insulting somebody with your actions is better than insulting them with words. I think there are times where it does merit insulting someone with words, right? Especially if they're taking a particularly evil action, right? I think that merits. Yeah. All right. Let's keep going. So the Dragon Masters, they go to Krynn, okay, and they arrive on Krynn and they encounter the Palon tree, right? Now, what is the Palon tree? The Palon tree is this magical tree that produces these unique fruits, right? And when they come to the Palon tree, they're expecting the next rod piece to be there. And the reason that they were drawn across the realms to the Palon tree on Krynn is that's where the rod piece was, but it's been moved, okay? And so, and it's been moved from the Palon tree to the Three Moons Vault. Now, what is the Three Moons Vault? The Three Moons Vault is this fortress, and currently there is a battle going on for the ownership of this fortress between good-aligned Kender lycanthropes. Good-aligned lycanthropes, and the player characters meet at the Palon tree a good-aligned lycanthrope, and I'm going to stop saying lycanthrope, I'm just going to say werewolf. A good-aligned Kender lycanthrope who is linked to a group of good-aligned lycanthropes, all who oppose Lord Soth, right? And so basically, this Kender is trying to get power over the Three Moons Vault again and displace Lord Soth's specific henchmen, right? And henchmen and allies, right? So the player characters come across this Kender at the Palon tree. They then have an encounter against an evil aligned Treant named Rosentrar. Now, Rosentrar is not actually allied with Soth. He's just generically evil, right? He's evil aligned, right? His alignment is evil. And so this tree is going to attempt to kill the player characters, the Dragon Master characters. And so it's going to attempt to kill these the Dragon Master characters, and they need to overcome Rosentrar, and then they need to go down into a hole down below his roots, which is exactly where the Kender werewolf went, right? So all this is going on, and basically at this point, the player characters get to a point where they meet this Kender werewolf, and they have the opportunity to learn his secret. What is his secret, right? What is the secret of this Kender werewolf? Well, he is a leader among this group of good-aligned Krynn werewolves, and he led his organization, but he was excited, and he wanted he wanted to really take it to Lord Soth, and he did a very bad job preparing for the battle. And his lack of caution meant that some of the werewolves that he was with actually died, right? And so at this point, he needs to get back to the Three Moons Vault, right? And he needs the help of the Dragon Master characters, because his group has already been defeated, right? And some of them are now imprisoned in Three Moon Vault. So he needs to fix this. Now, of course, this secret is now a currency that can be used by the Dragon Master characters, which is really, really interesting. So all of this is moving forward. I am astounded at the momentum of this book, right? Who would have imagined that a Dungeons & Dragons Now canon hardback would have you fighting Lord Strahd on one night, and literally on the next session you would be fighting Lord Soth? That's incredible. And it only came about because Amanda Heyman is crushing it, and Dungeons & Dragons is progressively leading the entire tabletop role-playing game industry. It's really astounding. I'm super excited about this. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion of what's the best. But the important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.